Okay, this episode we're going to cover one of my favorite cheesy movies of all times. Bam! 1978's Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. This movie's been much maligned, much put down, much made fun of, but it is actually, in some ways, so campy. It's one of the great motion pictures of all times. If you have ever seen and enjoyed the original Batman series with Adam West and Burt Ward, there is no way you cannot like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. This movie is just so cheesy. It's a motion picture set to the soundtrack of nothing but a whole bunch of Beatles songs. I'm not a big Beatles guy myself, really, but this motion picture was just set up so that it was one song after the other, all Beatles music, and somehow they tried to weave a cohesive story out of it. I don't know how cohesive it is, but the shit's hilarious. The movie was made for $18 million. Now in 1978, $18 million is nothing to sneeze at, you know what I mean? It's not like today $18 million, some low budget piece of shit. Back in the day, $18 million movie was not cheap. It only grossed domestically, from what I understand, about $13 million in that ballpark, so it was considered a monumental flop. They thought they had all the right ingredients. They thought they had the right music. They thought they had the right bands. They thought they had the right musicians. They thought they had the right actors and singers and dancers and all this other kind of stuff. And they did. But for some reason it just didn't connect to the people at the time. It was so god-awful goofy that most people just couldn't handle it. Anyway, to the facts. Okay, this movie was directed by Michael Schultz. Michael Schultz has been around for a while. He's still directing stuff today, mostly for like television, stuff like that. But he directed The Last Dragon, you know, Bruce Leroy. He, Crush Groove. He did Car Wash, fucking Car Wash with Richard Pryor and all that shit. You kidding me? Fucking shit's awesome. You know, Cooley High. I mean, this guy had a string of like really cool movies throughout his career. But one of them that doesn't get talked about or mentioned a lot was Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, just because the movie was a monumental flop. But I'm telling you, this movie is enjoyable. Watch it. I don't care. All right. Let's keep going. Okay, we're talking 1978. In 1978, this cast was the greatest cast that you could have ever put together for a movie. Well, kind of. But the greatest cast because everybody in it was kind of big. The movie stars Peter Frampton. And if anybody knows, in 1978, 76 was like kind of like the year of Frampton to a degree. Yet Frampton Comes Alive, and Frampton was everywhere. So he played Billy Shears. Then you got the Bee Gees. Fucking kidding me? The Bee Gees at the time? Are you shitting me? This is right after the whole Night Fever thing. This was crazy time for those guys. They had more hits than you could count. Then you had Barry, Robin, and Maurice, and they're playing the Henderson brothers. There's the three of them. Through the movie, you have a whole bunch of other celebrities. You got George Burns, all right? Come on, Oh God, you know, all that kind of stuff. And he's been a legend for what? It's George fucking Burns. That's all you need to know. You got Alice Cooper. Oh my God. How do you beat Alice Cooper in a movie? You got Aerosmith playing FVB, the Future Villain Band. Enough said right there. You got Earth, Wind, and Fire pops up. You got Steve Martin. You got Steve Martin, dude. You got Steve Martin. Steve Martin plays Dr. Maxwell Edison. He's like this crazy plastic surgeon fucking guy, and he does Maxwell's Silver Hammer. That shit is kicking. You got Donald Pleasance from Halloween and all those kind of movies. He plays BD at a BD Records. And then you got Diane Steinberg, who plays Lucy, and she's kind of like, she's all over the place actually. She's like, one minute she's Lucy, and the next minute she's a chauffeur. But is Lucy the chauffeur? Is she not? Who the fuck knows? It doesn't matter. You can't figure this movie out from left to right. Then you got Sandy Farina. Sandy Farina was she was like a commercial jingle singer. Her career never took off. Diane Steinberg, her career never really took off that much either. But her mother was like this big, like gospel-y singer back in the day. I think she even had like a radio show or station or some shit back, whatever. But yeah, Diane Steinberg. You had Paul Nicholas, who played Dougie Shears, and he was a cousin to Billy Shears, Peter Frampton. You had, anyway, there's a whole bunch. Billy fucking Preston shows up in this movie. He's like the reincarnation of Sergeant Pepper at one point. He's like spinning on top of the weather vane, and bam, turn around, it's Billy Preston. Fucking come on, dude. In 1978, if you look at those people, that is like the shit. Here's the story of this crazy flick. Try to follow with it. Sergeant Pepper and his boys, they were like the band in this place called Heartland, right? But then they got old, they fucking died, whatever, who cares? So they leave all their instruments in this town, and somehow these instruments keep the town pure and holy and happy and everything like that, and nothing can go wrong in Heartland because the instruments are there. And they passed everything down. Sergeant Pepper's passed down the mantle of music and joy to keep the town happy to his grandson, Billy Shears, which is played by Peter Frampton, right? How cool is that? And his friends, the Henderson brothers, which is all the Bee Gees, and them, they go around Heartland and they're singing and they're playing and everything is fucking perfect in Heartland. All of a sudden they get an idea, and they're making demo tapes, whatever, what have you, and somebody from BD Records, Donald Pleasant's BD, he sends a memo saying, we're going to make you big stars. Leave Heartland. Come to us. We're going to make you these schmega stars. So the kids leave. They go away. They get wrapped up in the fast life. There's chicks, there's hot looking broads, there's singing billboards, there's all kind of crazy shit, there's hallucinations, everything's taking place. Meanwhile, this guy, Mean Mr. Mustard, he tries to move in on Heartland. He tries to steal all the instruments. Well, he steals most of them. And then he hides them. He hides them with fucking Alice Cooper and Steve Martin and Aerosmith, and his legions is what they are, and they're out there trying to brainwash kids and create all this weird shit going on, whatever have you, who cares? He hides the instruments with them, and while he does that, the town deteriorates and turns into a bowling fester shithole urban crime zone. And Strawberry, that's Peter Frampton's girlfriend, Strawberry runs back, grabs the boys out of Hollywood. She ain't really happy with the way they're living, but fuck it. The boys come back and they all try to run around and get the instruments back so they can bring Heartland back. And in the end, they have a fist fight with Aerosmith. The Bee Gees and Peter Frampton have a fucking throwdown with Aerosmith. I'm not going to tell you how it turns out. I'm not going to tell you anything, but that's the story. And that's all you need to know. This movie is just a good time, okay? You can't take it too seriously. You can't take it too literally. You can't take it like you think it's going to make any fucking sense, because it doesn't whatsoever. I mean, there's a story, and you can kind of follow it. It's not, there's a story, okay? But the gist of the story is that it just moves along through the music. And it's a little boyfriend and his girlfriend, and they're taking on the forces of evil, and nothing really makes any sense, and nothing ever looks realistic, and everything looks completely insane. But it's a great, fun time. There's actually parts of it that are kind of sad a little bit, You're like, oh no, that didn't happen, did it? Oh no, how could it? But it's still just a flat-out good time. Watch the movie, and I'm telling you now, I own the double album vinyl original print of this goddamn soundtrack. Great stuff. There was only one song that ever really charted or did anything on it. It was the Bee Gees, and Robin Gibb did a cover of Oh Darling. Whatever. That one actually made it to the charts. The rest of the record really didn't make it, simply because, I don't know, it just wasn't the right thing to be doing at the time. It was just as, the whole disco era was semi-dying and everything like that, and it came along right at the end of it, and instead of it being a big, massive hit, it just didn't make it. But if you want to have a good time, go find yourself Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the movie. It's goofy, it's stupid, The music is good. It's like you're walking this weird hallucinogenic fairy tale from hell, but it's an entertaining time. Go check it out. 1978, Bee Gees, Peter Frampton. Fuck that shit. Watch that shit. Watch that shit.